What's good, everybody? I'm going to be talking about Conkeldurr and Gurdurr, but before I get into these super awesome buffs and changes, I want to have a quick little disclaimer to check out the description below. There is a link to the Google Sheets that you see me sharing on screen right now, and most importantly, you can check out here on the bottom tab. It says search all moves here. There's tons of other useful tabs that you should check out here on the bottom, but most importantly, there is the move guide, and in here you can check out all of the numerous move buffs and changes in the hack. Basically, every move is buffed or changed. There's 100 plus custom brand new moves, and then again, throw away everything you know about how moves work, because a lot of them work way differently. There's like very few that are unchanged. But with that being said, Conkeldurr, holy crap, Conkeldurr and Gurdurr are both incredible now. Logically, if this tab would switch, come on, I'm trying to record a video. Google Sheets, please. While that loads, I'll go to their dex entries, because all three have the ability Technician. Logically, this is very fitting. They are known to literally create and craft tools. At least Conkeldurr, he creates this concrete and then he uses it to fight very skillfully. It literally says word for word. Same with Gurdurr. It says skillfully wielding steel beams. So Technician is very fitting for them. And then again, they're also like these construction worker type guys, and they create or they destroy, and they use these tools, and using tools in general gives me Technician vibes. So Technician, very fitting. It fits any Pokemon really in general, but especially these guys, it fits very well. So not only do they have Technician to boost all kinds of powerful moves, they also have two really cool type changes. The reason I'm also covering Gurdurr, by the way, is because Gurdurr is actually very viable with Eviolite and other items, of course, too. You can still run Choice Band and stuff on it for specific boss fights, but Conkeldurr, you might be looking at this and actually thinking Gurdurr is better because of the typing. Gurdurr being a fighting steel type, while Conkeldurr is a fighting and rock type. Fighting and rock is probably a little bit better offensively than fighting steel. Not that fighting steel is bad offensively, because that's a great dual stab combo as well. But then defensively, obviously fighting steel is far superior to fighting rock, which has a lot of weaknesses. Having a lot of weaknesses does not make a Pokemon bad, however, especially when you have great abilities and a great stat spread like Conkeldurr. Not to mention you get that useful stab, and you can hold an item that isn't a Eviolite a lot of the time. For example, Assault Vest Conkeldurr is bulkier especially than Eviolite Gurdurr. Gurdurr has a pretty pitiful 50 base special defense, so you're using your Eviolite to make that a lot better. 80, 110, 50 with fighting steel is very tanky on the physical side, incredibly tanky even, but especially it is going to need some investment to still be really tanky on that special side, while Conkeldurr has a much better 105, 120, 80 bulk spread, so physically it is much frailer than Gurdurr. Frailer is not the right word choice, because it's not frail by any means, but it takes hits less well on the physical side than Gurdurr does with the Violet, but Conkeldurr can hold all kinds of different items, and it can also, for example, abuse the sand. There's a lot of sand setters in this hack, and you can also just use the rock items with 6 extra turns, or as opposed to 3 extra turns, and you can, parting shot into your Conkeldurr in the sand, and you get really tanky. So I'll touch more on the Violet discrepancy here as to which one is quote-unquote better than the other one. I would say they're both equal, by the way, but before I get into that, I want to talk about their other ability as well as Technician options, because Technician is incredible on them, because not only do they all have Stab, Technician, Boosted Mach Punch, they also have Bullet Punch and Accelerock. Mach Punch and Accelerock being 45 base power, while Bullet Punch is actually 50. So that's even better for Gurdurr, because he gets Stab on that, but they all have Stab priority, as well as First Impression, which is Technician boosted as well, because that is a 60 base power move that always crits, effectively making it 135 base power with Technician, so that's a really good option via TM to teach. But otherwise with Technician, you have all kinds of other awesome stuff. Most importantly, you have Pummel and Rock Blast. Only Conkeldurr has Rock Blast, obviously, so that's another advantage of Conkeldurr over Gurdurr. I don't want to understate how important it is to be able to hold different items. For example, a weakness policy set would be incredible on Conkeldurr with Solid Rock and priority moves and Drain Punch, and also Conkeldurr gets Rock Polish, while Gurdurr has no way to boost the speed, and Rock Polish with 45 base speed is pretty bad in competitive, because there's Scarf speed tiers you have to worry about, but in game that's more than enough. 45 base speed outspeeds the majority of things with Rock Polish up in game, and if you don't outspeed it, then you just don't run Rock Polish for that fight. Not to mention Rock Polish also gives you an accuracy boost, which is pretty cool for moves like Knockout Punch, Storm Throw, Stone Edge, all these inaccurate moves, 90 to 85% accurate moves will become 100% accurate. But yeah, their other abilities are Filter and Solid Rock. Timber also has Sap Sipper, just for haha funny, because he holds wood. Kind of a reach, but it's whatever. Like, I just wanted an ability to hint towards the log. and you know he's only usable for Hala. He evolves right before Hala. Oh, speaking of, this is one Pokemon that I know for sure that Hala will have. Gurdurr will 100% have a Technician Gurdurr, and it will be an absolute menace. It will completely shit on fairies and all these other things that you might want to bring to Hala. So that's definitely awesome with that Technician boosted Bullet Punch and just being super tanky and having that great dual typing. For that point in the game, especially, he's gonna be really powerful. So that's fun. There's all kinds of Pokemon that evolve earlier, that evolve in time for Hala, though. So it's not like he's too crazy. But for Hala specifically, you know, with the mono fighting team, it's great. But this is not a video about that. This is a video about the buffs for them. So yeah, their other abilities are Filter and Solid Rock. Logically, those are very fitting. I kind of imagine them using their like weapons or whatever as like a guard, as like a shield almost. So like Gurdurr uses the Steel Beam to guard himself a little bit. Filter, you know, Steel, and then Solid Rock for the concrete pillars. I think it's pretty sick conceptually, and then it makes them even bulkier, and it also makes up for the fact that yes, while Conkeldurr does have a good amount of weaknesses with that fighting rock typing, what is it, like water, ground, psychic, let me just look at all of them. Terrakion is one that comes to mind. Yeah, you know, it has a good amount. Water, grass, fighting, ground, steel, fairy, and psychic. That's 7, which is a lot. But that doesn't make it a bad Pokemon. Not to mention it's, again, very, very tanky. You got that Solid Rock if you do need to take a super effective hit. Keep in mind, in this ROM hack, you do have access to infinite usability capsules. So, you know, probably most of the time you'll be wanting to run Technician, but your non-Technician boosted moves are also very strong. Not to mention that extra bulk you get from Solid Rock or Filter is really nice. A Vile like Filter, Gurdurr, swallows super effective physical hits for sure. So that's really nice as well. Like I said, this policy is great with the Filter and Solid Rock abilities as well. It's just a really, really good ability combo, even if Technician is a lot better in a lot of cases because of the, you know, priority moves and Pummel and Rock Blast. Pummel and Rock Blast, by the way, Pummel is just fighting type Bullet Seed, and all of the multi-hit moves are really consistent in terms of accuracy now. So that's all really great. Other Technician options they have. Oh, I forgot to add the Technician guide. Oopsie. There's like a little. I have like a little. Hold on. What is the guide? Hit on top has it. I have to add. There's like a little link that links to. Come on, the Technician boosted moves on the Google Sheets. You can see a little guide I made for those because there's so many new ones. Copy paste this in. But yeah, with that being said, he's just great. I don't know, they're both awesome. Again, that Hell Let Him Freedom is super important, especially in a difficult ROM hack like this. You're gonna want to be able to switch up your items and run, you know, super effective weakening berries and whatever. And then of course, Gurdurr can still use, you know, like Choice Band, Bullet Punch for certain fights, but it's not as good as it is on Conkeldurr, because not only is Conkeldurr stronger, but he's bulkier without a Violet, so that's really nice. But either way, you know, it's up to personal preference. It also depends on what your team is. You know, your team composition and stuff is really important. You know, if you already have a Steel type, you might want to run Conk. If you already have a Rock type, you might want to run Gurdurr. Although, honestly, if you already have a Rock type, you could run Sand with Conkeldurr. That'd be pretty sick. He's an absolute beast in the sand for sure. Yeah, otherwise, other Technician moves, Dizzy Punches is 120 base power overall with Technician. Finishing Blow is roughly 80 base power, and that gives you +3 attack when you kill something. Knock Off is Technician boosted. I already covered the priority moves and the multi-hit moves. Rock Tomb and Bulldoze are 90 base power Technician. Low Kick and Grass Knot, which is now physical, are the same move. They both drop speed by 1. They're both physical. And Grass Knot actually with Technician is pretty great. Not only is that really good coverage for a fighting, you know, fighting rock or fighting steel type to have to be able to hit bulky grounds and waters and shit for certain fights. Of course, the thing about this ROM hack is you not only do you have infinite usability capsules, you have all kinds of other customizing options like EV spreads, and you have access to the trainer documents, so you should be switching between your movesets very often. Like you switch between your abilities, your movesets, all that stuff. You definitely take advantage of all your options. But yeah, Grass Knot is really nice because if it's 40 base power, it becomes 60. If it's 60, it becomes 90. And then you have 80, 100, 120. So on average, your power will be about 80 to 90 for most Pokemon, because most Pokemon weigh an average amount, if I had to guess. So that's a really nice option. And yeah, that's really about it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I could cover a bunch of little nitty-gritty things. Like I don't want people to underestimate the utility of Filter and Solid Rock, even though they're not offensive. And I also don't want people to overestimate a Vi like Gurdurr. Not that he's not incredible, because he is, but Conkeldurr still has great use. They also have reliable recovery with Slack Off, which is kind of funny because like they're construction workers or whatever. And then also Set Amend on Conkeldurr would be really nice in the sand as well. But even then, just running like Assault Vest Drain Punch on Conk with like Drain Punch Rock Blast, Accelerock, Mach Punch, whatever you want to do. Like that's all great stuff. They also have other great utility. Not only do they have the healing moves, they also have Parting Shot. They also have good setup like Swords Dance as well as Bulk Up. Swords Dance would be really nice with priority moves, or I guess technically on a Trick Room, but Trick Room is not a very reliable strategy because only a few Pokemon get it in the hack. Not a few. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon that get it, but they don't get it by a TM, so you would have to keep it the whole time because there's no Ruby Laner until the late game. But this is unrelated. My point is that Trick Room is not the most consistent thing. Meanwhile, having priority is very consistent because you can always teach Sucker Punch at first impression if you deleted your priority moves. But these are some of those guys where you're not going to want to delete the priority moves. You're going to want to have at least Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, or Accelerock. One of the three you're going to want to have for the most part on your moveset. Yeah, they're great. That's really about it. I don't know what else to talk about here. I don't want to drag this video on too long. It's probably already relatively long. So hopefully you enjoyed this style of buffs or changes. Very, very powerful. Very, very cool. Very, very fitting buffs and changes here as well. If you do like this style of video, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm pretty damn close to 1K at the time of uploading this, so hopefully you can help me get there. Check out the description below again for the link to the Google Sheets. You can also join my Discord server, all that other fun stuff. And I'll see y'all for more Univert Pokemon. Peace.